Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I got another action figure review for you, and we've got the brand new Boba Fett Return of the Jedi Deluxe from the Black Series line, and we're going to jump into it. We're going to compare it to the Empire Boba. Obviously it's a very different pack, different design, different colour schemes, different accessories, and we're going to kind of talk about maybe which one of the two you should try and get your hands on. So we're going to jump into it. If you're new here, do subscribe. As always, you don't want to miss any of this content to come, and leave a like on this video if you enjoy it. So straight off the bat, what are we going to get in the box? So the Boba Fett Deluxe is an awesome figure that I've been waiting very anxiously for because of all the accessories. Now you are going to get a flame effect for his flamethrower, a jetpack with removable missile, and also two sort of take-off flame effects for that jetpack that are removable, a grappling hook that goes onto the arm, his blaster rifle, and his famous blaster rifle being cut in half from Return of the Jedi by Luke, obviously. So we'll look at those and then obviously kind of compare the two figures as they come in their box, and then obviously from the standpoint of just this new Boba Fett compared to the old one, and giving Boba Fett an overall score. So straight off the bat, these kind of flame effects, I really like these because they just add a little bit more to it. From a toy photography standpoint, they're really useful. I love using these kind of things. I've got some kind of like resin cast effects that I put in some of my shots, but these these are basically that. They have that flame effect, the yellowy orange. They got some really nice detail, and it's just nice to have extra accessories. So like Boba Fett as a deluxe, I think I was more than happy to buy him at the deluxe price to get all these accessories. So you do have the flame effect that does attach to his wrist. Then we have his updated blaster in Return of the Jedi. It's not the same one as Empire, but it is very similar. I really like the colour on this. They've gone for this kind of like it's kind of like a black with like a brown kind of metally kind of wash on it, as if it's kind of like rusty almost. It's really nice. It's really well weathered to bring out the details, as you can kind of see. So I really do like that. As much as the Empire blaster for Boba was it's like multiple colours, and it was quite nice to see that in a Star Wars blaster. I really do like this one. I love this as well, as you can kind of see here if I get into focus. This is the same blaster, but as it's being cut in half, so you have the removable piece, so you can put that together. It does click in like this, and you can have it, if you're doing a scene with Luke, having it being cut in half, or not even with Luke, just anyone. Obviously him being a Boba, him obviously him being a bounty hunter, he's going to get himself into all sorts of trouble, so it might not be the first time it happened. But I really like that they've added that in. Instead of just having one blaster or the other, they've gone for one complete and one with the kind of melting metal look that is detachable, so that's really nice. Also we have the grappling hook. Again, a really nice addition. It's just nice to have more accessories, especially with a Boba Fett kind of bounty hunter like this. This little piece just goes around a wrist, so it doesn't plug in anywhere, it just goes around a wrist. And then obviously you've got this piece of rope that is flexible, so you can do a dynamic shot of him swinging, or trying to grab someone, or all sorts of things there. So that's really cool too. We've got the jetpack with the new kind of colour scheme that he had in Return of the Jedi, kind of like a mix match, trying to replace a jetpack kind of thing. It looks really awesome. I really like the weathering on it, as you can see, like the silver kind of paint chipping, and the paint applications on this thing look fantastic. I really like it. The bottom exhausts are actually rotatable, which is really nice because it means that you can do different angles and it looks more fluid if he's flying in certain directions. If he's trying to hover, trying to stop, trying to go forward, side to side, that kind of thing. As you can see, the removable missile, so that you can have it like it's been fired or like it's still there, just pops into place. Again, nice silver with some kind of black weathering on the paint, so that's really nice. I really like the jetpack. And then last but not least, that goes with the jetpack is these kind of blast flame effects to come out of the bottom of the exhausts. Now I love this feature. It's kind of like you would see with, you know, like your Iron Man and stuff like that. You're going to get those repulsor blast effects, but that's just so awesome to me that you get these. And like I say, because these are rotatable, you can do different shots of him kind of flying backwards or, you know, forwards, sideways, that sort of thing. But yeah, definitely think that this is real awesome. And part of the reason I really liked the idea of getting this deluxe is that you get all these accessories with the flame effects, the blast effect for the jetpack, the removable part for the jetpack, all that sort of stuff. I just thought that it was a definite thing that I wanted to pick up. When you look closely at Boba, I mean, Boba looks absolutely fantastic. This new mold of Boba, I really like the paint schemes and the paint application. As you can see, like the weathering, the paint application on the chest armor and the helmet, they're just absolutely fantastic. They've still got the dents like the ones in Empire, but the kind of weathering, paint chipping of the Beskar looks even better on this Boba. It's just fantastic. You can see on kind of like the arm, the gauntlet here, you've got, you know, around the back all these different colours. Fantastic paint applications. I really like the colour choice with this Boba. Obviously you've still got the greens, the yellows, the browns, the reds, and the kind of the beige kind of grey looking tones that go throughout, so that's really nice. But yeah, in terms of what comes in the box, this is Boba as he comes. This isn't soft goods anymore on this Boba. This is just a rubber cape, but it is very flexible, so it's not the end of the world. And to be honest, we get so much with this Boba Fett, I'm not too bothered about the soft goods of the cape. So moving on to the, you know, the application of paint and the design. As I said, like, I mean, when you look closely at Boba Fett, I mean, just look at that. He looks absolutely fantastic. Just amazing colour schemes. I love the actual application. They've really nailed it. No weathering on the back plate, which maybe that's something that could have been done. But I mean, when you look at the overall paint application on Boba Fett, they've knocked it out of the park. I really love it. I really like that they've moved his belt to be a lot more flexible and not have these front pouches now, because it means that it's not going to get in the way of his leg movement. The pouches are on the side, so that's also a really nice thing. And as you can see, you can rotate it to where it needs to be for either your shot or your display, or, you know, if you're trying to move him into a different pose for a shot and it's in the way, you can just spin that around, which is really nice. He's got his kind of locks of I imagine, you know, something like a Wookiee, something like that he's kind of there, like his trophy things. You know, his pipes coming out of his kind of gauntlet for the flamethrower and stuff like that. And yeah, just fantastic design. I mean, the knee pads and stuff like that, like the little knives in the trousers and the shins there. And then obviously the classic kind of pointed toes for his boots, looking very good. So moving on to, you know, articulation. I mean, this Boba Fett, I'm expecting big things. The Deluxe in general, I think, is the superior of the two Boba Fetts when you compare it to Empire, just straight off the bat, in terms of you get all of this stuff accessory wise. I really like the paint application and the design of him. He's a lot less clunky. Like, you know, the old one seems to be quite stiff, so I'm looking forward to looking at this articulation. So in terms of a toe point, if I can get it into focus for you, as we can see, pretty good. Decent point to the sky, and nice rotation on the ankle, so you're going to get a good rotation there, getting up to the knees, just past 90, which, to be honest, that's alright, that's fine. I think that if he was double jointed, it kind of ruined his proportions, so that's pretty good. I'm not too bothered about that. And also, he actually can move his legs up forwards now without, the belt attachments getting in the way, so that's really good. So the fact that there's no double joints is fine to me, because as you can see, the transition from lower leg to middle leg and up to the top of the leg is a lot more natural, because the knee pad just covers the joint rather than having a double joint like on the Empire one, where you still have the joint exposed after you've put the knee pads on. So that's nice to see. He will get into a pretty good split, and then he will, like I say, move backwards and forwards with that kind of rotation as we've seen, so he can get his legs up, which is nice. It means he can get into all sorts of dynamic poses. At the hips, he's got a set lower torso so that he can rotate, and obviously, like I said, this utility belt is movable, so he can move that out of the way. In terms of the wrists, it's got a good curl inwards, which is always nice. It's nice when you can't you can't just spin, you can actually pull inside as well, because it means that you can do a lot more versatile shots in your toy photography in terms of holding things or positions, or being in a vehicle or something like that. So this is the sort of thing where, with a rotation like that, you could have him in a kind of like Slave 1 looking shot, so that's nice. And then moving up to the arm, just past 90, that's quite a good curl, so I'm pretty happy with that. At the shoulder, let's see what we've got. So the kind of shoulder pauldrons are attached from the torso, so they're not on the arms, so they don't hinder, which means he can get his arms up to a comfortable T-pose. And because he's got a nice little hip, like a nice little flex there to have an ab crunch, and he can look down and he can look back and up, and that helps because he can go side to side. That can really get his arm up, so that's good. Very good on the arm. And like I say, I like this design because it means that you can move these arms freely, but the pauldron doesn't hinder that like it kind of does on the other one, being set to the arm and only being able to go up under. So that's a really good addition. I'm glad that they've upgraded that. In terms of the head, now this is where again he just is a cut above the Empire Boba Fett. As you can see, there's a blank head under there, so this helmet is a lot better sized. On these newer figures, like with the Stormtroopers, Boba, and the clones, that sort of stuff, they've gone with, instead of the ball and socket joints, they've gone with blank head sculpts under there, so that the helmet is more realistic size in terms of scale, which is good. So I'm really enjoying that, and he has still got great articulation. One of the things with Mandalorian helmets is they typically have, or should have, great articulation. So he can go 360. He's got a really good, if I can get it to focus for you, he's got really good chin to chest, considering he's got the helmet on, and he's got really good look up. And like I say, he can bend at the waist and look up really well, and then he can also bend and look down chin to chest really well. Obviously he's got the side to side, so he can do these nice expressions where he can tilt his head and kind of give you the expressions that he wouldn't be able to give you because you can't see his face, so that's really nice. And again, I'm absolutely loving this helmet. The paint applications and the colour scheme on it is fantastic. And then last but not least, the viewfinder, the rangefinder, does move on this Boba Fett, which is so nice. From the standpoint of just because it should move, I believe that it not moving on the original one was not a positive. So the fact that they've addressed that, and now you can have him with the kind of rangefinder down for a display, or you know, for a toy photography shot. You know, if he's doing a you know, if you're doing a shot where he's trying to use his jetpack and the rocket, and he's got the rangefinder, that is really nice. It's a nice addition, and obviously, like, you can see him with his backpack, that just looks fantastic, fits well. I like that the cape has been shaped to accommodate this going on. Just clicks in the back as it did with the old one, but this one feels a lot more it feels a lot more natural, like it's shaped to his back a lot better than the other one. But yeah, so if you know, if you're doing a toy photography shot and you're thinking, you know, he's trying to you know, he's trying to take something down, he's doing something with his rangefinder, you can get him into a position like this where he's kind of like programming something on his gauntlet, and he's got his rangefinder down, and then he's ready to fire his rocket. And you know, that's just fantastic. I'm glad that they incorporated that. He's an awesome figure. It's one of my favourites so far, especially in these new waves. They've really knocked it out of the park with him, because I mean, initially I thought that, you know, well, another Boba Fett, what are they going to do? But you know, originally in the pictures we didn't see all of the accessories that came with it, so you know, it was a bit of a gamble, kind of pre-ordering it just as a fan. But obviously I'm a big fan of Boba Fett, so I really wanted to see what they were going to do anyway, and then they just kind of surpassed expectations, which was really nice. In terms of Boba Fett, you know, the new Deluxe Return of the Jedi, here's him in comparison side by side with, you know, the Empire Strikes Back version, and as we can see, you know, like the legs, he's a little bit shorter with this new build, and it's a little bit more to scale. You know, his, if you can see in focus here, his knees, like I said, they're double jointed on the old one, which is great, but also like this one seems like it's a lot more natural. If you can look at his legs, you know, the joint isn't as exposed on the new figure as it is here. You know, at the hips, he had these big clunky like ammo pouches. He doesn't have that here. He's got this kind of movable one, so he's a lot more free to move at the waist. Grip wise in his hands are pretty much the same, but on this newer figure they don't feel like you have to wrestle them as much. His gauntlets, although they're green on the, you know, the Empire version, I really like the brown ones, and to be honest, they've put even more detail on the brown ones. They've put, you know, although they've weathered a little bit with the green, as you can see, and they put the kind of the little lights on there. They've done that here too, not with the same colour scheme, but like they've added some more weathering. And then with his, you know, the pipes coming out of his gauntlet, yeah, it's not just the one, it's multiples now. As I said, like his shoulder pauldron is on the torso on this and flexible. This one, it's like just moulded to the arm. You know, the chest plate, it's way more weathered on the new one, looks much better, and I really liked the original, but you know, I mean, look at that, and you can see how stiff this guy is compared to this guy. You know, although you had decent articulation in the head of this Boba Fett, it was more like a bucket because of the ball and socket joint, whereas this has got the head sculpt, so it's a lot more kind of natural shape looking. You know, realistic size. Obviously you couldn't move the rangefinder on the Empire one, you can on the new one, so that's better. You do have soft goods in the cape, but I do think that they've worked out a good way of not doing that, and still making it look good on the new one. In terms of the, you know, the backpack or whatever, the jetpack, I like the colour scheme on the new one. It's very poppy, it's really well weathered, you get the blast effects, which would have been nice to come with the green one. The green one, you know, on the Empire Strikes Back jetpack, the exhausts aren't movable, whereas they are on here. So that's, you know, that's nice. And you look at it in comparison, I mean, it's, you know, it's just much better application this time. I'm sure, you know, moving forwards we'll probably get, you know, more Boba Fett's, but if you look at that, I mean, they didn't plan on ever giving us like a you know, exhaust port where we could put these flame effects on the old one. So it's this you know, new Return of the Jedi Boba Fett figure just seems like it's, a massive upgrade, and I love it. I definitely think it's great. I do like it better than the Empire version. I think if you were going to get one of the two, I do think you should get the Return of the Jedi version. You just get much more with it, and he is an updated figure, upgraded parts for articulation, upgraded paint application and moulding. It just looks absolutely awesome. It's fantastic, and I love it. It's not to say that this isn't good in its own way, but I mean, this is superior in my opinion. The one thing that he could have come with just to top it off is obviously his pistol, but we didn't really see that in Return of the Jedi, so I guess they've made that decision not to include it, what with including everything else. But yeah, in terms of versatility, I mean, it's Boba Fett again, like we've talked about with like the Mandalorian and stormtroopers and stuff like that. With Boba Fett and bounty hunters, you can do so much, and be very liberal. So he's so versatile. He's got so much shelf presence, as you can see. So display wise, he's gonna pop. But yeah, toy photography wise, this is definitely a figure I would recommend. He's so versatile. He's got so many attachments. These accessories, and it's Boba Fett. He is one of the most notorious bounty hunters to have ever lived. And now, obviously, with the new seasons of Mando and the Book of Boba Fett coming out, we're only going to see more of him. Okay, so let's wrap things up with some final thoughts. So this Boba Fett Return of the Jedi Deluxe is one of my favourite figures in the collection right now, and I'm so glad I could pick it up. He looks absolutely amazing. Love all of his accessories, all things considered. His versatility, display-wise and photography-wise, awesome. And such a significant character. So they've smashed it out of the park with this one, with Hasbro. Well done. And I love this Boba Fett Deluxe. So in terms of score, I'm going to give it a 10. I mean, it's fantastic. The articulation's great. You can get them into great dynamic poses, all the accessories and stuff like that, and the paint application, it's just top notch. So hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I hope it was informative. Do leave a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, there's plenty of content to come, and you take care, and I'll see you in the next one.